I got off my first mic and I was like, I'm gonna have my own Netflix special. Like, I was like, I can do this. Don't even worry about it, right? I was so confident because it's the power. I had like power like Sauron, okay? Like I was like, and I'm never coming down from this. I was on this high, and I truly thought, believe it or not, thank God for, I shouldn't say thank God for COVID, but the second wave saved my ass. It did.
From open mics to trivia nights, films and plays to festivals and concerts, events don't just happen on their own. Behind the scenes, someone is organizing everything, and that someone is the producer. But what exactly is a producer? What do they do? How do they do it? And can anyone be one? I'm Veronica Diamond, a writer, comedian, and sometimes independent producer. I love talking shop with other creators and hearing their advice, insights, and war stories. If you've ever wondered how shows get made, this is the show for you. Welcome to the means of producing.
So that's all fluff that's going to be cut from this at the top. Cool. Let us begin. There's my camera. Hi. Welcome to The Means of Producing, a podcast about producing. I'm your host, Veronica Diamond. With me today is a fantastic guest. Once again, we just have good guests. All of our guests are good. My guest today is Jenna Makrides. Jenna is a producer around town, a comedian around town, and we're going to get her insight and advice on producing. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jenna.
No problem. I am so happy to be here.
Wonderful. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little warm today, but you can't complain because we don't get this weather here in St. John, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll start with some general questions. Like, who are you? To the people, the people don't know who you are yet. Who are you?
Well, my name is Jenna Makrides. I am a local comic and nuisance here in St. John's, Newfoundland. I am originally from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, though. A lot of people don't know that, but I've been here for like 7 years, so I'm pretty much a Newfoundlander at this point. But yeah, I started comedy probably for like sometime during COVID, but it's kind of off and on during that time. But yeah, I want to say I've been doing it for just shy of 5 years. And I host and produce in the city, and I love it.
All right, thank you so much. How did you get started producing?
How I got started producing? I think probably my very first show was with Sarah Walsh. Shout out to Sarah Walsh. We did an International Women's Day show at the Black Sheep, and that is it was my favorite. Probably my favorite show ever. It was a pay what you can show, but also, donations on request for the Just Us Women's Center, Stella Circle. And I think Sarah and she had been producing so much at that point. And I was really she was taking me under her wing, and I was like, okay, how do we do this? Are people gonna come? How do you know when people are gonna come? Because it's not there. We weren't selling tickets, so you can't see how many people are coming. And it was really great organizing. We had a bunch of badass bitches on the lineup. It was awesome. When people started filing in, we were a lot of them were our friends, which is great. Just go out and support your performing arts friends. We love watching shows and supporting. And so we saw a lot of them coming in, filling up tables. We were like, okay, all right, people are coming, okay. And then about 10-15 minutes before the show, a massive mob of students came in, and I'm calling them students because they were really young, but also we had advertised it at MUN, and there was a women's association at MUN that put it out on their newsletter about Women's Day events, and we managed to get in on that, and there were not enough tables or chairs. They were sitting on the floor in front of us. I'll never forget. They're just sitting there with their legs crossed we're in a grade 2 gym class. And I'm are you sure? The least, you donated, the least we can do is get you a chair. And we're does anyone have a chair? We're just freaking out. And I was Sarah, what do we do? I've never produced a show before. What do we do for these people? And they were so happy. Don't worry about us. We want to be on the floor. We're just here to support. We love it. And we're okay, let's do this. So that was my very first time producing, and it was awesome. We received so much great feedback from that. People that weren't even able to attend the show messaged us and congratulating us, and we filled that donation box to the brim. There was so much to donate to Stella Circle. It was wonderful. And Sarah and I looked at each other and we were should we do this again? And yeah, that's probably when we first started. That was in 2023 when we first started doing that.
Was it branded as Two Idiots at that time?
No, it was just like us, you know. She was like, I was thinking about doing something at the Black Sheep. They're looking for a show, International Women's Day. Let's do it. We got it together in less than a week. We had decided that like one of the first weeks of March, and International Women's Day is on the 8th, I think. And like, so in 8 days, we managed to pull this show together. It was crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, we were like, how did we do this? And during the time, Sarah's like, we're two halves of a whole brain. Like, if we put it together, like, we're idiots. We'll figure it out. And I was like, we're two idiots, man. And then kind of after that show, we were like, let's start doing this more. And Two Idiots was born, so.
That's incredible. That's a great story.
Yeah.
And a testament to the power of like having the right timing and the right branding for your show.
And I didn't really know, most of my followers and people were from Nova Scotia, because that's where I'm from. So me posting stuff for a couple hundred people on my Facebook, a lot of them are in Halifax and wouldn't be able to attend. So I was like, I could be sharing this all over my social media page, but I don't think I'm gonna bring in a lot of people. And Sarah's like, let's do some posters. So we put some posters out like the last few days before the show. I reached out to, Memorial University, shout out to them, the Women's Association, I think Student Union posted it around too. And it was really mostly Instagram and Facebook, and we didn't really know what to expect. And so, yeah, I was really happy with the turnout. And it's also a testament to like social media, use it more. Like people need to, if you think that share is not going to reach people, it will. Mm-hmm. And I think there is a page on Facebook for all live events in St. John's. So like that's really important too, because they have a huge following. So
yeah, shout out NL Live Events. They're fantastic.
Get your shows out there because they have, a couple thousand, if not more, followers. So that really, I think, helped us as well. So,
yeah. I really appreciate how so many aspects of the community like reshare our shows like that. Yeah. It's so great. But like NL Live Events is deadly.
They're our biggest fans. We love you. It's awesome.
And we're their fans too. They're great.
Yeah.
Social media is fantastic. It's that double-edged sword of like, oh, we're wasting time on social media. But if you know how to use it, if you can use it, you can really get your message out there.
Absolutely. No, fully agree.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up so that is the how you got started on your show.
Yeah.
You're currently running a show on your own, though, right? That's your first steps into solo producing.
Baby's first shows. It's actually scary though, because we like to say Sarah is the banker in Two Idiots. She is our accountant, our finance manager, and I just do nothing. No, I'm there. We both bring a lot of strengths, a lot of weaknesses, but we both also bring strengths. And so doing the show by myself, I started Bridie's in March of this year, and it was very scary. I think Sarah was there though, and I pretty much just handed her the jar of money and was like, help me please. And she's like, you're gonna have to learn to do this on your own. And I was like, just do it for me, it's my first show. And then she wasn't able to make the second one, and oh my goodness, I was just like laying all the bills out, and I was like, okay, $5 for them. And it was like, for some reason the money, I just want to make sure everyone gets their share, right? And I don't want anyone to I don't want to be doing math wrong. So that was the scariest part for me, doing it on my own. But yes, it is so far going so well. I love it. It brings me so much joy going. It's the first Friday of every month at Bridie Malloy's. And it's at 7 p.m., which I also love because I get to be in bed by 9.
Does it have a name?
This is it. And you know what? I would love to have this out there and your followers. How many followers do you have at Highs Below Zero? Shout out to Highs Below Zero.
2
followers.
Well, two on YouTube.
2.
I think maybe 80 on Facebook.
Cool. For the 82 people out there, can you please help us figure out a name for the Bridie Malloy's open mic on Friday? Because I love that Vanya has branded this Fogged Up on Thursday nights. I love that Josh and Tyler have branded Last Minute on Wednesday nights at the Peter Easton. It's great. So I wanted to create something, again, where it was so new, we weren't sure if this was gonna be a thing or not, but it turns out it is becoming a thing. We get regular people coming, we have regulars, I love it so much. So I need to, right now it's Bridie Malloy's open mic or comedy night at Bridie Malloy's, but we want something fun. So I'm trying to figure it out.
There's a show, Tyler talked about it in his interview, that happens in Calgary, and it's just called Comedy Mondays at
Okay.
whatever bar it is.
Comedy.
And it's been on the go apparently for 20 years, and it's just Comedy Monday.
Monday comedy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Start your week off right.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't have to be too complicated. But let's think,
No.
let's brainstorm some titles.
ideas for me.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really bad at graphic design, so if you could do up a little logo, that would be great as well.
Brouhaha and Bridie's? I don't know.
I'm so like I love Katie at Bridie. Shout out to Katie because she does all the posters and promoting. And Bridie's and Celtic Hearth, they're the same business, right? They have a huge following. So when they're posting stuff on social media, it's getting shares from people, which is great. But yeah, I'm like, we need to have something that, because it is kind of turning into a thing. It's turning into its own little community. So I would love to have like a brand for it.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That is, and I talked to Josh and Tyler about branding in their interview, and I think it is something you don't have to start out with, but
No,
it is something that's important eventually.
Exactly.
To focus
Yeah,
on.
I think so.
So sorry, how many years collectively now? That was in 2023 that you started with The Idiots, and you started this show at Bridie's in February, March.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
a couple of years of doing.
A couple of years producing,
Yeah.
probably like 5 years-ish, off and on, just doing comedy.
Right.
So still new to the game. I still consider it new to the game. So I still have lots to learn. But yeah, probably 2 years producing.
Yeah, but even though only a couple of years of producing, do you have any tips or advice since you're sort of in that newer area of producing? What advice would you give to the people who are interested in producing?
Well, advice for producing. You have to, it helps if you love it. I do. I said if I wasn't doing this or, if all else fails, I'll become a wedding planner because I love it. I love organizing. I love planning. I love the challenges and creating like solutions for those challenges. I love dealing with venues. I love doing the lineups. I have a type A personality, so I love having control of that show, of my own show. So I would say you have to really love doing that, and it brings me a lot of joy doing it, and it's very challenging for me. But yeah, for people trying to get into the game producing, patience. It's a lot of patience, practicing patience. You're gonna have people that bail last minute, you're gonna have people that don't show up. You're gonna have some difficulties maybe with venues, sometimes they're not always supportive. The biggest thing in St. John's I find is venues love a musician, and I love a musician, we love musicians, but they're not super keen to do comedy. So when I've talked to venues, they've been really like, maybe like a super early time slot or a super late time slot on the weirdest day of the week where no one's gonna be there. And I would love for venues to get more on board with comedy, because right now Bridie's, I think, was a bit surprised. Like they're like, wow, like they have musicians every single day, and so does Celtic, and all of them. And we do have that slot 7 to 8:30ish, and then they bring on a musician after. So they're still getting, the best of both worlds. And people have called in being like, hey, is the comedy show still tonight? Yeah. I'm like, I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, sorry, we're closed. We were closed in May for renovations. And they're like, sorry, no comedy show, but come back in June. And they did. Like, it's so cool. People want it. I feel like the people want it.
Yeah.
So.
And look, I do think that people want it. And part of what I'm trying to do with this podcast is just try and elevate us as producers, because people want it, and we want to give them a good product. We want to give them a great show.
Absolutely. This is why we do it. I do it because when I started going to see comedy shows, I actually started going, I had friends in the city that loved going to comedy shows at Redacted Bar. And I was watching the greats. I had Jen Somerton hosting every week. I was watching the Veronica Diamond. I was watching Brie Parson, Sarah Walsh, and I was like, wow, these badass ladies up here. I would love to try and do that. And it just got me out of my, I won't say funk, but it brought me to a world for an hour and a half where I wasn't worrying about my problems back home, the chaos of everyday life, right? And for an hour and a half, I was just sitting there laughing and forgetting my problems. And I find it works with the audience and with me. When you're a comic on stage, I'm forgetting my problems too. And it's so fun to be in that environment for a few hours, and I want more people to feel that. That's why we do it.
There is something really magical about, not to get too up my butt about it, but there is something really magical about being on stage and like you're hitting it and the audience is getting it, and like there's just this great give and take of like you're making them laugh. They're like, it's this wonderful exchange of just energy. Like
we're both having fun.
Right? It's play.
We're playing. Yeah. And it's so, I love it. We need to have fun. If you're going up and you're, all of us go up nervous. But if you're going up and after you're like, that was not fun, like maybe it isn't for you, right? Like you need to have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun, the audience is going to see that too, right? Yeah. So, but that's why I do it. Last night is a perfect example of like, I was sitting back watching Mike Hammond absolutely slay. And the Shadow Mike, and the newer comics sitting there that, maybe have only done a couple open mics are watching this legend. They are learning, they're laughing, they're just like mesmerized by him. I am. We're all enjoying it, and I'm sitting back and going, this is why we do this. Like, this is so much fun. Everyone is having such a good time, and we're forgetting about life right now, and we're just in this together.
Yeah, I love that comedy, and I think that you're right. St. John's is a really big music city.
Yes,
but I think that there's room for comedy to as a breakup, between music sets, you can have a little bit of something else, and that variety is exciting.
There's absolutely room for everyone to thrive here. I mean, for Two Idiot shows, we try not just do comedians. Like we've had drag performers, we've had burlesque, we've had storytellers, we've had improvisers. Like. We love to showcase all art forms. That's what we should be doing. So when a venue tells me like, we're only doing musicians are what brings people in. I mean, I've also gone into a lot of bars where there's a guy playing on the guitar and nobody is there too, right? So, I think there's room for everyone. There's space for every single art form here. And you're right. Newfoundland, we got the artists here. Okay?
Yeah, it's not about the medium per se necessarily. It's about the performer and the show, right?
Absolutely.
One thing that you talked about that we were talking about before in our little pre-interview chat. Yeah. You were talking about feedback, giving feedback to comedians, and how that can sometimes be challenging as a producer. Yes. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I mean, I understand people don't really like constructive criticism. I am someone that does. I mean, none of us like it. It's uncomfy, but I started like getting better because I was getting feedback from people and I was asking. I was like, Vanier, what did you think of that? Sarah, what did you think of that? These are people that have been in the industry a lot longer than me, and I wanted their feedback to get better. And I took everything to heart. I was like, okay, I need to do that. And the biggest piece of advice I got was to pause, sit in the silence. And someone who talks really fast and loud, it sucked. It was so uncomfortable for me because I feel like 2 seconds of a normal person's time is like 2 hours in a comic's time. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, no one's laughing and I need to talk now. Like I'm freaking out. But I slow down, let the jokes hit, let it resonate and go. So like I appreciated getting feedback that early in the game. So now producing, and I see all these new comics signing up, I love it. I love seeing new names on the lineup because it means they want to try. It means they're attempting something. It's scary, like it's awesome. So I try, if they ask me, I usually try and give some feedback. It's challenging hosting because you kind of see it all. You see people that do really well, and then you have some people that didn't do so well. And you just want to help them out. That's all I want to do is help them out. So sometimes giving that feedback, hey, it's really not great etiquette to run a light or something, right? It's not great etiquette to talk while someone else is up there, doing that. So giving them kind of, and some people just don't know that. I didn't know that getting into the game. I thought when a comic asks a question, we should be like shouting out the answer. That's not always the case. Right? Like some people are just kind of like rhetorically asking the audience, don't shout out and interrupt them. It could really throw them. It's thrown me.
I have a lot of opinions about rhetorical questions and comedians, but yeah, that's a good example.
But yeah, like I just, so I would shout things out and then I might have messed that person up, or it's just been obnoxious. The show is not about you as the audience member. Let the person do what they've been practicing to do. So yeah, it can be very challenging, approaching new comics and trying not to be, just being mindful that they're also starting out. They will figure it out on their own as well. Mm-hmm. But it's more like I would have really appreciated the helping hand when I first started. So you know, I try and think that like it would be helpful. But, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I also love receiving feedback as a performer, and when I started out, I would like ask people for feedback, and there was a lot of really generous people starting out. Sean Burton would give me feedback.
It makes you better.
Price. Yeah, it makes you better. And it does. You don't get your perspective of yourself. No. That's why another good tip for starting out, comedians who are starting out, is to record yourself on camera and watch yourself. I find that really, really hard because I have body image issues. That's part of the podcast. I'm getting better at it. But like, I
can't even look at myself right now in the video. I know I'm not gonna be able to rewatch this video because I'd be like, ew.
You look great. But if you watch yourself on camera, you get to see the perspective of yourself from the audience. You get to hear what you're doing, you get to see what you're doing, and it helps you, because your perspective on stage it's a different perspective. You're looking at the audience. You're not getting that audience perspective. It's important to get that audience perspective, because you said it's not about the audience. I think it's entirely about the audience.
Right.
Like I think you know, as a performer, as an artiste, it is my art, and it is my time. Yeah. So I don't think people should be heckling you. But talking about rhetorical questions, I have firm opinions about rhetorical questions for comedians. And I think that
I've just stopped asking because I'm too afraid that someone's going to interrupt me, and it throws me.
Absolutely. But my thing is that the audience doesn't know that a question is rhetorical. The audience only hears a question. No. And if you're asking a rhetorical question as a comedian, you gotta answer your question immediately before somebody has an answer, or you need to have a response lined up for the most obvious fill in the blank.
Absolutely.
You need to be anticipating that people will, so that you got a little bit of that give and take, that call and return.
I just also am, if I am asking a rhetorical question, I don't give the eye contact because I don't want that answer. So I'll be like, why something like this? So I'm like looking up and asking. They know I'm not asking them.
Exactly, because the audience doesn't doesn't know that you're necessarily being rhetorical, right? No. It might be obvious to you, but again, that's that outside perspective. That's that audience perspective. Oh, of course the audience thought I was asking a question. I said, does anybody here hate Mondays? Yeah. Oh, I didn't want you to answer me back. Like, what are you doing?
Stop. Pick this person out. Get him out of here.
Stop asking questions if you don't want answers. Or
it's true. It's true.
Or you can fix that also by like, does anybody else hate Mondays? I hate Mondays. Like, don't give them the time to do it. But
continue.
Rhetorical questions are one of those things where I'm like, the audience doesn't know that it's rhetorical. And it's for, like, the show is for the audience. You are performing, you are doing your art, but it's, you know, it's both, right?
We want them to have a good time. We want them also to go. They're our biggest like promoters, right? We want them to go and be like, "That was so fun. Let's do it next Friday."
Absolutely. Right? You want them to reshare your stuff later on, right?
Exactly.
So I definitely think that, you know, like this is what part of why I wanted to talk about feedback, is because I think that sometimes comedians get a little bit too up our own butts, and we're like, we're artists, and this is art, and it is my time and my space, but also you gotta anticipate what the people are talking about, and you gotta roll with the punches, right?
Absolutely. And like you adding onto up your own butt, especially newer comics, I was guilty of this as well. I literally got off my first mic, which is a hilarious story, but for another time maybe. I got off my first mic and I was like, I'm gonna have my own Netflix special. Like, I was like, I can do this. Don't even worry about it, right? I was so confident because it's the power. I had like power like Sauron, okay? Like I was like, and I'm never coming down from this. I was on this high, and I truly thought, believe it or not, I shouldn't say thank God for COVID, but the second wave saved my ass. It did, because I signed up for Last Comic Standing, Veronica. I had done one open mic, and I thought I could go compete. I mean, think about that. You're trying so hard to be like, no.
You would have got your ass handed to you.
Absolutely. It would have been mortifying, right? So it gave me that chance to go, okay, I need to slow down. And even when I did Last Comic Standing the year or two after, I had been doing comedy now for like maybe 2 years, maybe. I still like got my ass handed to me, pretty much, right? Because, you know, still doing it, you had to do a type 5. I was so worried that I would go overtime and like get my points taken off for that. So then I went under time drastically, got more points cut. Like I wasn't ready, right? And so I think we have this confidence and maybe a little cockiness when we first start. I mean, I know some people now that have been on like 2 open mics and they just started an Instagram account for themselves. That's great. Promote yourself. But do you have enough content to make a page right now? Do you have enough content to engage followers every single day? You need to be posting almost every single day to engage followers or they're gonna get bored.
Yeah.
So when you've only done 2 open mics, let's say you didn't even record them, maybe, what are you posting, right? Like I still actually haven't created a page because I'm so bad at filming myself. I need to film myself. Film yourselves, people. But as host, it's so hard. There's so many moving pieces. I can never film myself. My phone's in my hand, lighting people, timing people. It's a whole thing. But, so that's the downside of hosting. I never get to film myself. But yeah, I think like you need to have enough content, wait until you have videos, editing it takes time as well, and start that YouTube, start that Instagram, start that TikTok, because people want it, but maybe when you have a couple more sets in, right? Like maybe when you have more content to post, right? You can keep resharing a show you're doing, but doing 1 open mic a week won't be enough to engage, to create a following, to create engagement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Social media is a whole other beast that,
Yeah.
you know, you could take hours to talk about it.
For sure.
But absolutely. Yeah, the stand-up is that weird balancing act because you need a certain level of cockiness and confidence to actually do it and
Very
get
true.
out there.
Very true.
But also you need to rein in your cockiness, otherwise you're going to shit the bed.
Yeah, it's a short fall. Like you're just gonna, you know. So I'm thankful that I like took some more time. I watched a lot of shows. Going and watching is my favorite thing, mostly because the pressure's off you to perform, which is great. But I also just learn from watching everyone, not just the people that have been in the game forever. Watching new people, I learn from everybody.
Yeah.
So, you know, you really need to kind of take it in, try and practice.
It helps you develop your taste as well.
It does.
Your taste, your style, because that's really
So
what people are
true.
coming for in a comedy show. They want, like, obviously they want jokes, they want to laugh, but they want to laugh the way that you make them laugh, right?
Yes.
They like your style of comedy.
100%.
You know?
That's actually a great comment because I am still trying to find my style. Like so many people have like really dry humor or dark humor. And like for me, I kind of go out, I come from kind of a theater background, so I already was like very energetic when I hit the stage. I'm like, I have to make an impact. I have to talk loudly. And when I'm nervous, I talk fast as well. So it's like, it's hard. But yeah, I think I'm sort of developing something where I want my material to be relatable. It's mostly hitting the millennial audience, really. And so I'm mindful of my audience and making sure those things will land as well. But yeah, it's hard. Almost 5 years, I'm still trying to find my voice and how I want to come across to people. So yeah.
It's a lifelong process.
It is.
So I've only got a couple minutes left on my tape. So the last thing I want to do is, can you highlight your show? Try and get people to come to your show.
All right. Hello, my name is Jenna Makrides. I am a host and producer of the Bridie Malloy's Comedy Nights, the first Friday of every month. The next one is at 7 p.m. And I know what you're thinking, what? Comedy in the daylight? I need to be in bed by 9, and I am going to get you in bed by 9 too. So come on out, the first Friday of every month, Bridie Malloy's on George Street. We'll see you there. Cool?
It does sound like you're trying to get them into bed.
And the logo's going to come up?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. Can I do the Disney Channel wave wand thing?
You can try. I don't think that my tech skills are that good.
And then the logo comes up.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming by, Jenna. That was Jenna Makrides, everybody, of Bridie Malloy's Comedy. Still unnamed, so, you know, in the comments, let us... in the comments here, or actually it would probably be better to send them to Jenna. How did they contact you?
Well, you can go to my Instagram, Jenna__Mac, 2 underscores, Mac, M-A-K. I over-explained that. I was trying to find Jenna Mac, but some bitch in like British Columbia took the username. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, send me a DM, send me a PM, whatever. You can contact Bridie Malloy's too, and they'll get in touch with me. So yeah, that's how you do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be doing more of these, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.